So hi everyone, this is how Gwen died and how Gwen died for me as well. So I've got two sections here. The first section deals with the gameplay elements, and the second one is with monetization and the general problems that the community had in large with the game. So the first section will be much longer because for me that is the most prevalent one. So it is much more about the gameplay and less about the monetization thing, because I think it's a good game, and uh, compared to like Hearthstone or any other card playing game, it is quite cheap as well. So it's less about that and more about the gameplay. So if you played in, I played in the closed beta, and it was a great game. It really resembled like the old Gwent from what you know from Witcher 3, and they really made a Hearthstone clone. That's the problem. When it had a game that worked pretty well and it had many different aspects that make it unique, and you want to make it more of a consumer friendly game, and because of that you make mistakes like copies is like the general mistake. They had like 3 copies back then, now we have 2. Just as in Hearthstone, you can have 2 copies of cards, except if it's a legendary. But 3 copies was great because it thinned out your deck. You could make plays more consistently, and provided much more points. It was much more point slammy. The cards were much stronger back then. Not to mention that you could have more copies if you played a kind of a deck that supported it, like Alchemy Nilfgaard or such things like that. Provision problem that they have replaced the provision limit with this gold 4 and silver 6 rule, and before it was you could put 4 gold cards into your deck and they were really powerful, like not like today. They were really making you like 50 or 40 points at occasions. Like I had the deck that I think put in here, that was the Scorch deck that made like the Scorch like made like 50 points at times, or things like that. The other problem, the leader doesn't count as a card played, because leaders now have passive abilities and stacking abilities and so on and so forth. And a really powerful leader was better, I think, as just as a standalone card, and it could make the tide of the battle come in your favor. It's not the leader that wins you the game. Rose, I think, from 3 to 2. That was because of the mobile release, of course, as many people said. But it was much better. You could have played much more cards in a round than in have played around Igni, Yerd, and all the toll punishes you. The other problem with Rose was the row limit. The row limit is 10 cards. Before it was infinite. They made it because the game was kind of broken, but that's what made Gwent a really great game. That it was on occasion broken, but for the broken stuff you had to do like a combo that was pretty cool to watch. And it was broken, but it was broken in a good way. It was broken because you built your deck around it, and you had to plan in forward for that to work. There were more powerful cards. The golds and the silvers felt like if you play them, you could win the game with them. That was a great game because you could go to like 300 points or 150 points or things like that, or or even 1,000 points, and drawing 3 cards at the end of the round made it a little bit as good than it was. Drawing 1 card and better in my opinion, because there wasn't this problem of passing on 4 or 7, and it made the game feel it had a gravitas, you know, every card mattered thing in old Gwent, because it was much more about thinning. What is a lack of good thinning? The problem was good thinning was prevalent in old Gwent because you had 3 copies, and now it is kind of clunky. You have to include a lot of bad cards in your deck to thin out. The other section is will be short. It's like a few complaints about how the game looks and how they monetize things and how they interact in the community. The cards look today a little bit clunky. If you look at cards of old Gwent, they look great. They were much smaller, much more accessible, much more greater on the eyes. Now cards are big and they look like shit. Also, there are less new cards. With each expansion, they have released like 10 or 15 cards. A good expansion at least has to have like 100 cards, I think, to be called an expansion. The other problem that many people had was that not fixing issues fast enough. Too many expansion packs. You can buy the ultimate keg, and you can't really make your collection without crafting, because they made these mini releases with few cards, and they didn't make kegs for it, so that's also a minus. And also, that was kind of a Hearthstone thing, and they wanted to make money, was this journey and cosmetic paywall. You know, the journey, you have to pay money to unlock the track, and also the cosmetic side, they sell shoe bundles and dandelion bundles and Siri bundles and every kind of bundle, you know, that's just cosmetic. And if you want to pay for the game, pay for the cards, I think. That's just my opinion. And also, the last thing that I want to talk about is that there is no duplicate protection like in Hearthstone, because you can open the same card if you have it for like 1,000,000 times, and you don't open new cards if you have all of the cards.